So I really want to come to you and ask you, as one of the leaders, indeed perhaps the most fundamental thinker about the philosophy and the mathematics of intelligence design, to tell me what it's all about.
Good. Well, let me first give you a definition. I mean, I would define intelligent design as the study of patterns in nature that are best explained as the product of intelligence. Usually when we're talking about God, we're talking about some infinite being outside the world. So how are you going to reason from some finite patterns in nature, albeit the result of intelligence, to this infinite God? Well, I think there is no real logical route that will take you there.
Yeah, I think we would say that intelligent design cannot prove the existence of the Judeo-Christian God, so to speak, or any kind of God. But if there were such a God, that would be consistent with an intelligent design. So that's a very important distinction, which I think most people don't know.
And I think it is important, because I think many people do think that intelligent design is just, well, you're just trying to prove God. I mean, there are lots of options, lots of philosophical options historically. Aristotle, Stoic philosophy, I would say, would be consistent with intelligent design. What is intelligence? I mean, intelligence is teleological. It's basically about adapting means to ends. Intelligence is a causal power that can bring about purposes by arranging the means to bring those about. Well, an intelligence, though, then has to make choices. I mean, if it's adapting means, it's this means, not that means. And in fact, the very etymology of the word intelligence, it's interlego, to choose between. I mean, that's the characteristic of intelligence, whereas something that operates by brute necessity, it always does the same sort of thing. And even chance is not really intelligence, because it's not goal-directed. So it seems that there's this fundamental distinction. So intelligence is about adapting means to ends. The key question then, at least the starting question for intelligent design, is, what are the markers? How do we detect the effects of intelligence? And there seem to be three main things that we're looking for. Contingency, whether something happened but didn't have to happen, so it was optional. There were different live possibilities. Was it complex in the sense that it's hard to reproduce by chance? If chance and necessity were operating, would it have been unlikely? And then third, does it conform to some sort of independently given pattern? So it's not just something that we're imposing after the fact, that we're cherry picking and looking for something that we're hoping is there, but that there's this independent pattern to which it conforms. And if we have those three things that come into place, it seems that we've, as it were, triangulated on the effects of intelligence. There's still lots of questions that are then open. I mean, what's the nature of that intelligence? What were the purposes of that intelligence? How did the intelligence implement that design? I think where intelligent design starts, not where it ends, is having reliable methods of design detection, specifically this contingency, complexity, specification, as it were, triangulation on design, and then trying to get to scientific mileage and also point to some theological implications.